Hello, this is We're Gonna Need Another Timmy here to remind you all to follow us on Twitter at a Dinosaur's Tale. Thanks.
Yes.
So the title, right? Sinclairity, a Dinosaur's Tale, right? Is that what we're agreeing on?
Yeah, that's better. The other ones I wrote down, I wrote Allosaurus in the Family, Comet Meets World, Roseanne, but with dinosaurs, even though Roseanne already has some archaic ideals of her own.
Yeah.
A site for dinosaur eyes or ears. I don't know why eyes would be involved.
Oh my god.
And then those were all throwaways. Those are from my other podcast. I'm starting 5 of these dinosaur podcasts at the same time.
Jesus Christ.
All with different people named Tim.
Honeys,
we're home.
Hello and welcome to Sinclairity, a Dinosaur's Tale. My name is We're Gonna Need Another Timmy, and
my name is Ben Handupme.
If you're tuning in, this is the first episode of a podcast about a little puppet show from the early 90s called Dinosaurs. Just simply Dinosaurs.
Oh fuck! I watched the movie Dinosaur from Disney from 2000 on accident. This is about the sitcom.
It's the sitcom, yes, because when you look up Amazon Prime, you can no longer find Dinosaurs on Hulu.
Apparently, yeah, I was about to say it used to be on Hulu until very recently, I guess, because it only went onto Hulu in 2017.
I know, and then it was also on Netflix before, which is the first time that I watched the whole series when it was on Netflix.
I've never watched the whole series. I've seen maybe 2 episodes, and I barely remember them.
Yeah, so the whole
I'm an expert.
The whole premise of this is basically, as I've watched this whole series twice. And Ben only remembers 2 episodes.
and I have a producer's credit.
Yeah, and a producer's credit for Ben Handupme. And if you're wondering about our cute little nicknames here, We're Gonna Need Another Timmy is from a later episode. We're not there yet, but through the coolest thing about the Dinosaur series was all the little jokes that would go on the television, and that was always the funniest shit to me. Like, just all the even in this episode, there's a funny bit that goes on the TV.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed that with the newscast, and then he watches wrestling or whatever that would be in the dinosaur world.
Yes,
I assume that's why you were into the show, is they were watching wrestling within a minute.
It was amazing. They should always. there are like multiple parts in that. I think there's another episode too where they're watching wrestling on the television.
Oh, nice. Is there a title of this episode, or is it just like the pilot, or what?
I believe it's just called the Mighty Megalosaurus, I think, right?
Oh yeah, the Thunder Lizard.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which I'm pretty sure is made up. I don't think that's an actual dinosaur species. Or am I wrong?
No, it is real, and like I was looking up the Megalosaurus, and like every iteration over 50 years, it looks dramatically different. Like, I say Earl, the father, he's kind of more based on like a really, like 200 years ago, or whenever we became aware of dinosaurs. It's fucking weird that we were unaware of dinosaurs for a little bit of time and then found their fossils and became aware of dinosaurs, because there were these giant things that were everywhere before we were here, or while we were here, if you're of that persuasion.
Yeah, and and they were basically just giant chicken bones, right? That people just found in their yard.
Just giant chicken bones.
Because the Earth is only 220 years old.
That's something that, will become addressed in this show, is that they're counting backwards in years from up to BC, and it really concerns Robbie, the teenage boy, and nobody else.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about the very first episode. I guess you could consider this the pilot. So Ben, I know you did a little bit of research. What kind of background can you give to the development of the show and how it came about? Did you learn anything about that?
Yeah, I saw that like Jim Henson had wanted to do like a sitcom with dinosaurs for a little while, but people thought it was like an absurd idea, and he saw like the work that his people were able to do with the Ninja Turtles film, and was like, we could definitely make this happen. But it was still during his lifetime. People were like, that's kind of an insane idea. And then The Simpsons got popular, and then people were like, fuck it, let's do a show about dinosaurs. That's what I gathered, at least.
See, and that's exactly the kind of approach you should take to any endeavor that you wish to do in life.
Yeah.
The Simpsons did it. That's...
Oh, yeah, and then I saw this thing about how The Simpsons have like an episode where they made fun of the dinosaurs for ripping them off. And it was kind of catty, because Dinosaurs was conceived first, but yeah.
We should at one point watch that episode of The Simpsons, and we should talk about it.
And we should watch the Disney 2000 movie Dinosaur.
Yeah.
I've never even almost seen that movie. I remember previews for it, but just never was on my radar.
I was excited about it because a little background on me. I saw Jurassic Park when I was really young. And Issa, my partner Issa, also has a very funny story about seeing Jurassic Park as a small child. But I saw it, and of course it scared me, but it also fucking blew my mind, and I became a dinosaur fan from early on in my life. Yeah. So, I love dinosaurs.
Yeah, there's that joke in like an XKCD comic about archaeologists who are upset about that movie because they were into dinosaurs when they were still underground. God damn it. But Jurassic Park, like when people press me for my favorite movie, that's always my answer, because I don't really like a lot of movies, I guess, and that's a pretty cool movie. I can watch it whenever.
Yeah, Jurassic Park is really good, and so is The Lost World. And the third movie just probably should have never been made.
Oh no, there's no point.
But
so welcome to our Jurassic Park rewatch podcast. Changing all my notes.
We're going to talk about Spielberg and nothing but Spielberg all day.
This is my spiel on Spielberg. Let's go.
All right.
Who's got the time to make that many movies? That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
I don't know. And then he did one with like an 8-track or something, like or an 8mm camera or something like that. Anyway, so I guess.
So what happens in this episode?
So I guess a good synopsis of this episode would be, I guess Earl loses his job, and then the next day finds out his wife is pregnant. Or laid an egg, I should say. Because she wasn't really pregnant, she just laid the egg. So, that's a huge turnover.
If I find out my husband got fired, I'm going to lay an egg too. Like, that's some big news.
It's like, did she just not know, and then she just laid the egg?
Yeah, I guess. I've never been a pregnant dinosaur. I'm not going to say I never will be, because I aspire to a lot of things in life. But I don't know whether you have an egg inside you, especially if it's that big. And like when they pull this egg out, like he holds it up to the light to see if there's a baby in it, because he's hoping there won't be, which is a fucked up, like if you're thinking of the concept of like, let's go to this ultrasound, maybe it's a dud. Like, but he holds the egg up to the light, and there's a fully formed baby just in there playing and talking to itself.
Yeah, and that's after like a day, by the way. Yeah. So apparently the gestation period, is that the correct term, I think, for an egg? In the dinosaurs universe is very, very short. Unless, now hear me out, maybe she had that egg the whole time. And she just didn't tell him, because he's one that probably wouldn't question it.
Well, she presses him to ask her about his day. Yeah. And maybe that had been going on for months. She's like, just ask me about my day. And he's like such a dick about it. He's like, I don't give a damn about your day. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and we'll get to that as we go along. But so at least the version that we have, legally, that we have legally attained.
With all the laws.
There is a nice little tribute to Jim Henson, who had died only a couple of years. Did you look up the exact date of when he died? I wasn't sure about that.
I don't have an alibi. I believe it was like 89 or something like that.
It was
just a couple years before this release.
Yeah, so if it was 89, it had to be at least, 4 years? Because I think this show debuted in 93, right?
And that's probably all just building the costumes and everything, honestly.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, a lot of work had to go into that.
Yeah. So, at the beginning of the first episode, there is a very nice worded tribute to Jim Henson, whose this idea was. And when I saw it, I immediately thought of the wonderful YouTube series Defunctland. And on that, they did a 4, 5, 6 part series on YouTube about the life and career of Jim Henson. And it is fantastic. And if you look it up on YouTube, just look up Defunctland and watch it.
Okay.
It's awesome. And I don't I hadn't cried watching a YouTube video in a long time, but when he somehow got the footage of Jim Henson's funeral, that was the saddest shit I have ever seen.
Oh my god. I really hope nobody made him into a puppet.
You know what? You never know, honestly.
He's one of the Skeksis from Dark Crystal.
Oh, that would be another amazing thing to talk about, would be the Dark Crystal and the new prequel series that came out last year.
We're gonna need another Jim
Henson. We're gonna need another Jim Henson and another season of that Dark Crystal show, because it's fucking sick.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's so good. But
I love the movie though.
But yeah, in the meantime, check out that Defunctland. That's a free plug for them. The host does a great job. I think his name is Kevin Perger, I think. But that whole series is awesome. And yeah, so the show opens, and I love the open to this show. It's one of the things that I remember as a kid.
Is it that long in every episode?
I think somewhere around season 2, I want to say, maybe season 3, they shorten it a little bit. But I don't know. I just love it because it's just like, it's got like the music and the sound effects.
Yeah, I did like a time. It's 30 seconds up until he says, "Honey, I'm home," and then it's 30 more seconds of theme song of like him being surprised there's a baby and the baby hitting him in the head is mostly what it covers.
Yeah. Also, spoiler alert: why did they made this open before the baby's even born?
I mean, the episode does open with the baby taking his remote, so like we know there's going to be a baby.
I know, but still,
and that we gotta love him.
So yeah, the opening, it's got the doom doom doom, and then the amazing theme song.
He gets stuck in the door.
Yeah, it's stuck in the door, and
I have to wonder whether or not that just kept happening with that costume, and they're like, "Fuck it, it's a gag for the show."
It had to be a gag in the show, like it had to be some. Yeah, it had to be a technical problem.
I also had read that like he sighs whenever he walks across the room so that the actor inside can see out of the mask. So, because he can only see when his mouth's open.
Yeah, and I don't know if you... when I was looking up stuff on YouTube, I found a handheld camera shot of the actor who plays Baby, who also plays Elmo, is just like freaking out like on the set. Did you see that video?
No, I have not seen that.
It's like... So, I guess he puppeteered it, but also did the voice like live on set, and then whoever did, because he's with Fran, and I think it's just the puppeteer inside of Fran doing the lines, but he's just like freaking out like in his voice. I think he's just fucking around because he kept like getting the lines wrong. And, like there's a point where like in the Baby's voice character is just like, "Did you just call me a son of a bitch?" Like, it's just like, it's so weird. Like,
you know, that baby character is already the worst thing about the show. I've only seen this one episode, and I only intend to watch the episode we're about to do it about.
The opening awesome theme song comes up, and then we open with the Baby and Earl sitting on the couch. And then we get our first great TV gag, where Ben's namesake, Mr. Handupme from DNN, the Dinosaur News Network, is handed a report or makes a report about a giant meteor hurtling towards Earth, and then he gets a note saying, "No, it's not."
He's like, "Oh, good." Earl is just like, "That's all I needed on that." I kind of feel like that's similar to like the way that like our president will receive news about anything. Just like he's just like, "This just in, no, it's not," which is my great Trump impression. I've never tried out loud.
Yeah, great.
Like any report from the WHO.
Yeah, like
No, it's
I
not.
love the DNN. Also, that it's called DNN, but the DNN like news updates usually open the show. I feel like, and they're always fantastic.
I enjoy the plethora of dinosaur-based puns. Like the Sinclair family is already—it's like an oil company and fossil fuels.
Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
I'm pretty sure Sinclair's logo is like a green dinosaur, even.
Oh yeah. So in which makes it even more ironic is in Disney World, on Disney World property by the Disney Springs, aka Downtown Disney, they have like one gas station, and I think it's the Sinclair, like they use the dinosaur logo.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if it's really,
unless we're wrong.
Yeah. So we get this amazing news report, and then Earl threatens the baby.
I was kind of wondering, like, this story he tells the baby about how dinosaurs used to eat their young. I feel like my mom's told me that story about people. Like, that's not too out there to me.
And then, so he grabs a remote, changes it to pro wrestling, which, yes, is awesome. And I believe it's just old footage from like a 1950s film, right?
Yeah, that's what it appears to be.
That's brilliant. So he threatens the baby, and tells him about dinosaurs used to be like. So Earl's already radiating big boomer energy. So
oh yeah,
he just wants to go back to the good old days.
Sitcom dads just hate their wives and kids.
I know, and Earl's just the classic prototype sitcom dad. Like, there's nothing really new to him.
I can't tell if he's supposed to be Roseanne or Dan from Roseanne.
I always just think he's a fest kid because he just wears flannel all the time.
Well, how do straight couples work? Which one's the Roseanne and which one's the Dan? That's what I need to, or which one's the Tom Arnold?
Tom Arnold's he's part of the threesome relationship. He just comes in from time to time.
God, that's why I'm almost done with polyamory. Tired of Tom Arnold just fucking popping in wherever he feels like it.
You gotta give him credit though. He has the P tape,
Yeah. So we're about to be introduced to the mom, the wife, Fran, who's played by Gangy Jessica Walter.
I know, like I guess as a child, I wouldn't know that, and then later,
well, Arrested Development wasn't out.
Yeah, and then after, I'm like, why does that sound so familiar? And it's because it's the grandmother mother figure from Arrested Development, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Earl is voiced by, oh god, he's been in a lot of other sitcoms, but
I was looking it up. It wasn't someone whose name grabbed me right away. Like, I was expecting it to be like I was gonna look back through this cast and see a bunch of names that I know now, but honestly, a lot of them I don't. It was Stuart Pankin.
Yeah, I think he was in,
if I'm pronouncing that right.
I think he was the principal on a show called Parenthood or something like that I used to watch. I don't know why I remember that.
I think I saw that he had a couple roles as principals and teachers specifically.
yeah.
He must look like an asshole or something.
And
if you look at him and you're like, principal.
So yeah, we're introduced to Fran, who is the typical sitcom mother who has to deal with the crappy sitcom father.
Yeah, for some reason she loves this man. I don't understand.
She loves him.
She deserves to be whisked away by that Tyrannosaurus she dated in high school.
Exactly. And then there is an episode where she almost leaves Earl, but we're not there yet. So, well,
and then that's where the Dixie Chicks song "Goodbye Earl."
Yeah, exactly.
Earl's got to die.
Especially the Me First and the Gimme Gimme's version, because I like that one.
The not no effects version.
I almost said no effects. But
this is just who we're going to go to for our theme song, Dinosaurs.
Yeah, and also if you're hearing this and we don't have a theme song yet and you want to make one, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But if we do,
especially if it's ska.
Yeah, but if we do at the beginning,
speaking of dinosaurs,
if we do at the beginning of the show, then forget it. Just
pretend we didn't joke about it.
Earl comes home. This is a flashback sequence. Earl comes home, and Fran has the TV on, which is another great bit where Dinner basically runs away.
Yeah, is this supposed to be a story about why they don't eat meat anymore? Like, I didn't understand what... Like, he addresses this as it's about to be the story to explain why they don't eat their babies anymore, but that never gets explained by the episode.
Yeah, well,
what I got out of it is I wondered if maybe you chose to become vegan because your food kept running away from you.
I mean, if I had to actually, like, kill my food, then I think everyone would be vegan.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not going to get too much on my soapbox here.
Even if it's not just like morally, I think it's just, I'm so lazy.
Yes, just like Earl, who is very lazy.
Just like Earl.
And demands his dinner now, but it ran away. So.
Yeah. The second he walks in, that's all he's talking about is his fucking dinner.
And then there's plenty of, discourse between the two, but then Earl has a really funny line where he's just like, Fran, you know what day it is? And she's like, what day is it? And she's like, it's paycheck day. Oh, paycheck day. And he's like, you know what this paycheck means? It says how much I'm worth.
Oh, God. I just got an $80 paycheck the other day, so I know what I'm worth. Working on tips.
And which is funny because later in the episode, we actually learn how much Earl makes an hour.
Yeah, and I was actually kind of wondering, like, early 90s, that probably is what a similar job would have, like, $4 an hour to knock down trees.
$4 an hour!
Like, that was probably minimum wage in 1993.
It's very possible. Our crack research team can go and look that up. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. Well, let's see.
Yeah. Do we have a research team that either does crack or they're researching crack?
All right. Minimum wage in 1993.
Look up the minimum wage in Pangea in 6 billion BC.
I think this is... Oh, yeah. You know what? You're right, Ben. It is $4.25.
Yeah. So, damn.
They were right on the money. It doesn't say which state this is, but...
It's in Pangea. Which is a thing. He says something in this episode about, like, how he's like 40 years old or something. And
he's 43. Europe. He says, I never even got to go to Europe. Because he starts freaking out because, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we're going to spoil it. Nobody knows there's a baby in the show yet. It's not the only thing anyone remembers.
Yeah, so then, after he's done complaining about dinner, and she offers him a frozen dinner, which is also hilarious. Because it's just the hairy creature.
It's still just moving around, just the middle of it's frozen.
Which must have been a fun puppet to make.
That's our new podcast, a fun puppet to make.
So he offers the frozen dinner, and then we enter into Charlene, their younger preteen daughter.
Yeah, played by Sally Struthers, an old lady.
Awesome. That's one famous person.
It is, but it's such a weird casting because I'm assuming, like, based on when the show came out, she was probably in her 40s, 50s. They're like, yeah, you're a preteen girl. I mean, she also played, like, Pebbles in a couple of iterations of Flintstones from, like, the 90s or 2000s. Yeah, it's super weird.
So yeah, we got Sally Struthers as the preteen daughter, and
that's how they sell the show.
and
we got her.
Earl immediately says no because he knows that she's going to ask for money.
She just wants a sweater. He won't even give his kids clothing.
Yeah, he must provide. Yeah, because like you said,
he spent it all on that flannel he almost is wearing.
Yeah, and plus he wants the money from his paycheck to get a 90-inch screen TV,
which in 1993 weighed like 5,000 pounds and were just unseemly. like, do you remember big screens from the early 90s?
Like big boxes, like.
Yeah, they're like I can't even imagine how they fit those into houses. I had like one of my cousins had one in her basement, and it was the weirdest thing. Now, like I have I think we got like a 40-inch TV downstairs that my dad won in a raffle, so he gave it to us, and I could just like throw this thing several blocks. Like they're like the easiest things to move now.
Yeah, and it's plus in 1993 you had to sit at a certain angle to actually watch that TV. Otherwise, you couldn't even see the screen.
Yeah, now I just do it out of
Now
habit.
the screens just give me headaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, we meet Charlene and then enter Robbie, who is
the one who
Robbie fucks. He also permanently has a varsity jacket on.
Yeah. I like that the idea of a cool teenager in the 90s is like both a jock with like a punky haircut. Like they don't really know what subcultures are or what people are like in any way. They're just like, just make him look like Sonic the Hedgehog.
He looks like Sonic. He's also way too smart for his own good, which Earl constantly points out to him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's the only one who notices they're counting time backwards.
I know, that's...
He's like, what's going to happen? He has so much anxiety about it that he's failing.
He's like, what are we counting down to?
I also would like to point out that they are all four different dinosaurs. Yes,
that is...
I have that written down. The dad's a Megalosaurus. The mom is an Allosaurus. Robbie is a Hypsilophodon. Got it in one. Charlene is a Protoceratops.
I know, and the baby is whatever. We don't know.
It says the baby is a Megalosaurus, but I don't see it.
It's all pink.
And it's played in some episode. It's a different dinosaur, but I don't know what that means yet because I haven't seen enough of the show.
Oh yeah. There's an episode,
but so like a flash forward. Or something.
There's an episode where they believe that the babies were switched like at birth. Yeah, there's a whole thing, but we're not there yet.
So our theory about the eggs.
Yeah.
So evolution is at work in this family. They're all different dinosaurs with all different eye colors. As well.
There's really no family relation at all. Like
no, these dinosaurs just fucking found each other.
It's like an actual sitcom where the brothers and sisters and the moms and dads they don't look anything alike anyways.
Yeah, that's what I love about this show is made by Michael Jacobs. He has that other show, Boy Meets World, where like Corey Matthews looks nothing like the rest of his family. He's just like this small young Jewish man and like in this Christian like white family of like I don't know, it's just so funny to me. He doesn't he has no family resemblance.
And his sister disappears out of nowhere.
Yeah, and comes back as a different little girl.
Just like Roseanne with the two Darlenes.
Hi, welcome to Tim Meets Ben. This is our Boy Meets World rewatch podcast.
So while Robbie's complaining, Earl has another great line in there where he's just like, "School's not about asking questions. It's just a place you go when you're not here at home."
just the basic Earl fuck my kids, Sinclair.
Doesn't want them around.
So. Okay, so does the son ask him for money at all in this scene?
No, I think...
So, it's just the daughter, and the mom wants a pot to make him dinner, and he's still referring it to him getting his wife a present.
And, no, Robbie... Fran suggests that Robbie needs a tutor, and that would cost a lot of money. So Earl doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because a tutor would cost a lot of money. So... Yeah. Basically, everyone's asking Earl for money, and he doesn't have enough.
He makes $4 an hour.
$4 an hour in
That's actually technically more than I currently make since I'm a delivery driver. Based on solely the goodwill of others when it is there, I make a little bit more.
I have he makes another joke about potential, but I forget what it is. But or Robbie has that great line, which is like, potential. That's just a bunch of motivational mumbo jumbo. Yeah, we'll learn that Robbie is basically he's the punk rock jock.
Yeah, he plays Fortnite. He dabs. he both smokes dabs or whatever and does the little dab move.
He does steroids. But
steroids. Oh, so no. Tristeroids.
So after Earl is bombarded by his terrible family, who he can't stand, we cut to his job site for the We Say So company, which is the best.
Yeah, We Say So.
Oh, there are so many great episodes about this corporation. It's amazing. Can't wait.
This is where he is complaining to his coworker about his family and how they're horrible, and he misses. It's a new concept to not be eating babies anymore. Or something like that.
and we also get introduced to Roy, who is Earl's only friend.
Oh, okay. I'm glad this guy is barely in this episode, so I wasn't sure what his significance would end up being.
He has a few bit parts here and there. But he is a significant character, and he is a T-Rex, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Even though... Also, that's another thing. As far as scale goes, all the dinosaurs are pretty much the same height.
They're also covered in scales.
Yeah, exactly, because they're reptilian birds.
You can't tell. They also all have vegetarian animal teeth.
I know that's why I love when after Roy convinces Earl that he should go ask for a raise. Earl is just like, "Have you seen his teeth?" And you're just like, "Mr. Richfield, Earl's boss."
I stared so hard at his teeth after I seen. I was just gotta fucking see these bad boys now.
He's not a Triceratops. He's another something in the Triceratops family, but they also don't eat meat.
That's the thing that I was like, so this big meat eating kind of T-Rex adjacent guy goes in there and is afraid of this herbivore, which I referred to as a vegetarian moments ago. But it was a conscious choice.
After some convincing, Roy gets him to go in, and Earl's like, "You're gonna come with me, right?" Roy's like, "Nope."
Nope, fuck off.
Because everyone's afraid of those teeth. And they're all afraid of their big bad boss.
Yeah, and my boss's teeth and breath.
So we enter. I love this set. I wonder if any of these sets still exist, but I just love the set of the trailer that looks so tiny from the outside, and then when you go in it, it's so massive, and then just the Mr. Richfield. I know, and he's at this tiny desk, but his puppet always stays there.
Yeah, I feel like it was just this perfect design, so they didn't have to do as much with that puppet.
Also, the detail of the hole in the trailer from his horns, because he moves his head up.
Oh yeah, that's great. I didn't catch that.
Mr. Richfield is great because he is voiced by George Jefferson, Sherman Helmsley,
who is weirdly very against the concept of moving on up during this scene.
I don't want to make something up, but there is a possibility that there is a Jefferson's joke within the series. I don't want to build it up, but I seem to remember.
All right, this is where we're starting our Jefferson's joke watch. Yeah. Our first watch of the series. Our second watch is going to be, I saw that Tim Curry's in it at some point, so we got to have a Tim Curry watch.
And, oh man, there's someone else. I think Tom Arnold is in this too.
He better be.
I think it's Tom Arnold.
I can't be the only one dealing with him showing up.
There's sexual Harris. Oh, all right. Never mind. We won't get into sexual Harris.
You're gonna. I saw that there was a sexual Harris episode that did not air on Disney.
Oh my god, that one is so good though. All right. Anyway,
okay.
So for whatever reason, Earl is such a dick, like, to his family, and he's like a big macho dinosaur, and then as soon as he has to talk to his boss, he's like immediately emasculated by this man. And he's like, but I love my family.
His boss tells him he should have less family. That's pretty realistic.
He's like, why is that my problem?
My thing with this scene is, like, he goes in there to argue why he needs a raise. He doesn't mention anything about how hard he works, or, like, he has no tactic. He's just like, I need more money for my family. It's like, that's not really how you argue it, though. That wouldn't be my point of entry. I would be like, hey, I did all this stuff and I keep improving, and, you know, I'm loyal to this piece of shit company because you say so. Yeah. He just goes, I guess it is the being emasculated and afraid of teeth. He just immediately forgets what he should say and just, you know, he's not a very bright guy.
He's not. And he just, like...
He was supposed to be voiced by Jim Belushi originally.
Yeah, which is the wrong Belushi, but the other one was already dead.
Just the wrong Belushi. The wrong kid died.
So somehow Richfield just basically convinces Earl that he should quit somehow, just by minting his words. So Earl quits his job.
Yeah. He's so good at negotiating raise.
And he's just like, oh, yep, I quit. And then Earl's just like, what, I quit? He's like, oh, God, it's such a shame.
I love this company.
And that's when we learn how much he makes, which, again, we talked about it, $4 an hour.
Tree pushers make $4 an hour. It's always been that way. It always will be.
It will never change.
Dinosaurs will rule forever.
Anyway, we come back to home, and Earl comes home again, and this is the part where Fran keeps bugging him, nagging him, I should say, because, you know, she's the terrible sitcom mother. Keeps nagging him. So she's like, Earl, ask me about my day.
For some basic communication and support.
And what does Earl say? I do not care about your day.
Literally, it's just like, frankly, I don't give a damn.
Earl's just like, I don't give a damn. So, and she's just like, Earl, ask me how my day was.
He just is like, there's no way anything could have happened in her day that affects him. Which, even if, like, it has nothing to do with him, why does he not like his wife? Why is this a thing? Why is this the basic joke of men in this world? Is they hate being in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, right? Was the advice not wrong of, like, his boss and his friend? Just like, hey, you chose this life.
Yeah, they're probably more concerned for his family. They're like, you need less family. They need to be away from you.
Exactly. So, after persistence, Fran reveals the egg, which we've talked about before, that she didn't know she was carrying.
I don't think we were recording when we... I don't think we were doing the episode when we were talking about this egg.
Oh. Well, anyway. So, the egg just exists. Like, it wasn't there yesterday.
Yeah. It's just this egg that came into existence, or she had been holding for several months secretly.
We don't... I mean, either way, I don't think Earl...
Nagging him every day.
Yeah, and I don't think Earl would notice it anyway. So... So, she shows him the egg. Earl freaks out because he just realized he quit his job. So he doesn't have enough money for another child.
Does he tell her he quit, or does he tell her he got fired?
I don't really remember.
I feel like he rolls with this narrative that he got fired because he goes back later and, like, acts as if he got fired.
Well, I mean, he's probably embarrassed as hell.
Yeah, that boss played him like a puppet.
Exactly, with his hand up him and everything.
Yeah, that's my name. he's like, you know what? This egg might not even be real. This is an important part of it.
He lives on another plane of reality where the egg doesn't exist.
He's just like immediately like he's like, hopefully it's an egg version of a miscarriage, which is fucked up.
Well, that was one of the funny jokes where it's just like, we had 3 duds before Charlene, and she's like, Earl, we had 2 before Robbie. He's like, yeah, that's what I mean, 3 duds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was a great joke. I love that one.
So we barely have met Robbie, and we just know the dad just fucking demeans him all the time.
Well, I mean, he's not up to his masculine ways, you know? He's just not.
Yeah. Which is why a joke we didn't bring up earlier exactly was him saying he's the Megalosaurus, the king of the dinosaurs, and his wife is like, the Tyrannosaurus Rex is the king of the dinosaurs. And she's like, I would know, I dated one in high school. And he's just like deflated. Fucking gotta respect that.
Yes.
She just tore him down. It was great.
And then also, when the family's gathered around the egg and everything, and they're just making jokes about it, and like Robbie mentions that he's like, no disrespect, but aren't you guys too old?
Guys too old to fuck? His mom's like, no, honey, we fuck. You got to think of us parents as fucks. Yeah. Like she says something to that effect. Like, you got to imagine us having sex now. But like she puts it in different words, so I'm like, what are you saying to him?
And then I think even Robbie makes fun of his dad. It's just like, well, you gotta be, you have to be obligated to this child till it's 18 years old.
Hey, he's like, you were almost done with us. Like he says that like Robbie's 14 and Charlene is 12, so they're basically the people they're going to be. So he's done raising them. As if he did any of the raising.
Yeah, and then that's the part where Earl freaks out. He's like, I'm gonna be in my 60s.
I never went
to Europe, which is
non-existent.
Yeah, it's connected to where he lives, wherever he lives.
Yeah.
But he never got to go to Europe. So after this, it goes back to the present day, and he's still explaining stuff to the baby. And then for no reason, which is just like the slapstick part of this, which is probably why I liked it as a kid, the baby just bites Earl on the head for no reason.
Yeah. He does that earlier in the episode too, where they're telling us, wait, okay, yeah. He's just like, gonna bite you now, is what he said, or something like that. And then just bites him on the head.
And then, the whole like gag of the show forever is just the baby just fucking hitting him in the head with the frying pan.
And being disagreeable until he agrees with the baby, then the baby's like, no, I'm not at work.
And also, honestly, Earl probably deserves it.
Yeah, I was like, this is his I know it's a different Earl that deals with karma in a TV show, but this is his comeuppance.
The baby just smacks him in his head. And doesn't really know who he is.
Yeah.
Because he's not the mama.
I never knew my father.
So, after Earl gets harassed by his loving family, he decides that he's going to go out into the woods, into the wilderness, and live like the old dinosaurs, for whatever reason. And immediately he realizes that he needs the comfort of modern society.
It's literally he finishes a sentence and then like physically shakes. He's like, it's cold.
And then, okay, so this must have been crazy. But how the hell did they get that person to lay down in that giant fucking suit and get back up? Like, what? Yeah,
I don't know how that person got back up from that.
Insane. Like those legs. Like I wonder how like heavy the legs are. Like So Earl tries to sleep. He can't sleep because of all the jungle noises. And he's just perplexed as how which he's only 43. So like it makes you wonder when the dinosaurs decided to settle down and build houses.
It does preface this story he's telling as if he's going to explain this to the baby. It never happens. Like it starts with he already has a family and he hasn't eaten them.
And like so what's like when was this decided? Like what, before he was born? Like during he was like when he was being raised?
Yeah, it's not really covered.
I don't know. And we only meet one grandparent in the series, and that's Fran's mom. And that's it. Yeah.
Ethel.
So,
which I think is like another oil company name too.
Yeah. While he's laying down, he meets Dinner, the Dinner that got away, who Earl pushed down his home. and I love that line when he's just like sitting there, the Dinner, and he's just like my insurance isn't gonna cover this.
Throughout this whole scene where he's talking to the Dinner that got away, like the jungle sounds are so loud in this episode that I feel like I barely can hear the two of them. So I get it. If I was him, I would have gone back inside too. He can't even talk to his Dinner.
Because it's, the dinosaurs haven't ruined the world yet.
The dinosaurs ruined the world. Why did we not learn?
And so afterwards, Earl's complaining about his family, and the Dinner is just talking about how he needs his family because it gives him something to live for, basically.
Yeah, he's just like, I love my family. They care about me. He's like, they listen to me when I talk and stuff like that. And Earl's like, oh yeah, mine listens to me too. Yeah,
well then that's a very there's a very important philosophy point made in this episode where the Dinner brings up the point that, like, you're a dinosaur, right? Like, everyone listens to you. When you talk, everybody listens because you guys rule the world. And that guy's just Dinner. So we learned a very important lesson about classism in the United States. So.
And dinosaurs are still voting today, and us young people are not showing up to the polls.
Yeah.
Fucking it up. We're just Dinner, so what do we know?
I guess Earl is white.
Yeah, I saw the flannel.
He needs that money to go to Fest.
His Fest fund.
Shout out to the Fest, our new sponsor.
So this Dinner gets to the point where he's just like, I just want to die anyway, so please just eat me.
Which
is like, did you ever like read or see Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like the show?
No.
There's like, I don't know if it happens in that movie or not, but there's like, they go to a restaurant I think it's the restaurant at the end of the world, and there's like this pig on a dish, and it's like talking to him, like asking what part of him he wants to eat. Like, you can have the rump or whatever, and he's like, I don't want to eat a pig that's telling me it wants me to eat it. They're like, so you just want to eat a pig that doesn't want you to eat it? It's like, that's pretty fucked up, man. And the pig's like, yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, and just like every millennial, he just wants to fucking die.
Yeah, he just wants to fucking die. But he gets scared once he's getting really close to that mouth.
Yeah, because, he realizes that he doesn't know where his family is, and his home's been destroyed, but, his family might be out there somewhere.
He might have only looked for 2 minutes. They could just be, like, down the street.
This is, like, the day after he ran away, so...
Yeah. They probably found, like, a shelter to go to for a day, and he's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to try much harder.
So after their heart-to-heart, Earl kind of takes his advice, but not really. Like, he's like, yeah, my family's what makes me important, and I'm the king of my household. Like,
yeah. Oh, it's important to note that when he lets go and doesn't eat the little creature, the creature's like, I'll remember this, or whatever, to, like, indicate, like, the creature wanted to die 2 seconds ago, so I wasn't sure initially whether he was like, hey, fuck you, man, I'll remember that you did not eat me when I wanted you to. But I think it pays off as, like, he's like, I'll, like, do a favor for you.
Yeah. But I just love that Earl didn't really learn a lesson at all.
No, he learned nothing about it. He's just like, I can go home and yell at my family.
So, out of nowhere, Fran's famous... Was it Mastodon stew or Mastodon?
I don't get paid enough to research this.
Well, anyway,
I don't remember what she. At the time I kind of thought about writing it down, but I do believe it had something to do with Mastodons. It had to do with she wanted to listen to Mastodon with him, and he's like, "Fucking right, dude, this is great."
Yeah, the first 2 albums, before they started singing. So she lures him with that because somehow she knew exactly where he was. He must have just been in their backyard. That's what I can imagine.
Oh, I guarantee it.
and the dish has like legs sticking out of it. And she lures him like a wild animal. And Fran forgives him, I guess, and takes him back for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. By the way, missed opportunity. We could have made so many jokes about it being fast food earlier.
I don't know.
But yeah, so she
drags it pretty slow, you know. It's not that fast.
I meant
God damn it! I realized that after I was saying that. Yeah.
Joke buster. So what happens after she like brings? Do they do a scene inside? Has the baby been born yet? I can't remember all of a sudden.
No.
Is this baby still an egg?
He's still an egg, and they come back to the house, and Earl's kind of like he's yelling at everyone, of course, because now he didn't learn the lesson.
Because he learned his lesson.
Then all of a sudden he makes like a joke about changes in the family or something like that, and the egg starts to crack. And then at this point, I made a note that Earl, for whatever reason, has a concept of God, apparently, because he starts saying, "Oh God, oh God." So it's kind of like I always make this joke about Star Wars, where like people, especially Han Solo, mentions hell, and this is like, does he have a concept of hell?
Yeah.
Like what?
See, I was kind of also thinking about Star Wars because I remember listening to this guy talk about how he was writing for like a Star Wars book, and he was saying something like that he felt the earth on his feet, and then like the editor was like, "There is no fucking earth." He's like, "Oh, I meant like ground."
Yeah.
It'd be very difficult to divorce yourself from those concepts when writing for something in a different world, especially with how hard they probably tried in Dinosaurs, the sitcom.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot of things right, but they never, because, well, again, alluding to, there is an episode about the concept of heaven, so maybe there is
a place where you can just yell at anyone you want.
That's Earl's heaven, at least. So I just have a note in here that just says the baby is still annoying.
It's immediately talking when it's hatching, and it's like looking around the room like there's a lot of people here, and then it like falls. It's like I'm on the floor. It looks like a fucked up togepi.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm naked, and also another great point. They never named the baby. He is Baby Sinclair. He does not have a name.
The dad was dead serious. He wanted this one to be a dud. He's not even fucking
and then
it.
like right from the beginning, you can tell that baby does not like his father because he's not the mama.
Mm-hmm. He got a good read on that man immediately. He's like this man is not.
Yeah,
to be
you probably
liked.
could hear him through the egg since he was pretty much fully formed the day before. So here we go. We have the introduction to the moneymaker. I mean, basically, like, I think that's why this show was so successful, was because the baby had a catchphrase, you know?
Not the mama, gotta love me.
So,
like, he says, like, right away, he's like, I guess catchphrases were so big at sitcoms at the time. Where you had, like, the one nerdy kid who liked cheese.
Yeah, did I do that?
Yeah. I wish I had some catchphrases. I have like shit I won't stop saying. But that's about like currently my thing right now is that annoys my partner to no end is I'll just start singing that like don't it always seem to go that you don't know, like whenever it's almost appropriate for the conversation. Like anything about missing something that you didn't take advantage of at the time. But I sang the Pinhead Gunpowder cover of it.
A big Cadillac put up a parking lot. Yeah. so we now have the concept of the baby. The baby is introduced into the show. The final character.
I immediately made some plushes of it and everything.
And McDonald's toys.
Yeah, it's like the only thing they did with the show, merchandising wise, and a board game and a bunch of video games that never worked or launched.
It should have existed.
Well, that's why we're trying to light a fire up under this show.
Bring it back. Hashtag bring it back.
Hashtag we're back.
So, so the show ends, and Earl is explained to the baby in the present time about how dinosaurs will always rule the world.
Yeah, and the baby's like loving on him. Like the baby is like likes his dad in this scene for a minute.
Yeah, which will not be the case as we continue. And what does Earl see outside the window?
Humanity.
2 humans, and they look like they make a wheel.
Yeah, so you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
going
they
somewhere.
make the wheel, and then what does the human do? Bash it over his head and makes a hula hoop. So
yeah, because he's about to go like drop acid and hit up a music festival, and he wants to have his hula hoop with him.
And so that's what we have to look. That's what the dinosaurs have to look forward to, which is also weird because I don't know much about science, Ben, but I'm pretty sure that the humans and the dinosaurs never really interacted with each other.
A science Ben was my nickname in high school. I was a nerd, but no. Yeah, it's kind of a weird, like, I'm not sure what the lore of this show is supposed to be at this point still. Like, why were there people? Do they interact with them in future episodes? Was that just a fucking throwaway gag for a show they didn't think was going to be continued?
In this episode, it was a throwaway gag, but like I've been saying, there is a future episode where humans do become more of the plot.
Ben Sane is my punk name. It's no pun involved.
Ben Sane, how long?
My mom used to like call me Ben Gay.
Yeah,
like,
I
like anytime there was a commercial on, she'd be like, it'd be like Ben Gay for football players, and she's like, "Is that true?" I'm like, a little.
I think I made the same joke. Ben Gay, how long?
How gay is
my
Ben?
Catchphrase.
That's your catchphrase.
So,
don't know where seems to go.
So, all right. So, I think so. That's the whole episode. Ends with the credits. We get the awesome theme song at the end, and So what are our final thoughts on the very first episode of Dinosaurs? I'll let you go first, Ben.
Okay, I would say that I don't know why they made 0 attempts to make the main character likable in any kind of way. Like, here's a show you're gonna watch. There's 3 jokes in the episode. And this guy's just a dick the whole time. And there's this incessantly annoying baby
who basically sells the show.
Imagine spending like 4 years making all these puppets and learning how to work them and working with all these sets to make this like hideous, terrifying scene at the end. Like, I don't know. It's just like once you see it in action, it's like, so this is a little bit spooky and weird. And they're all unlikable.
Yeah, it's very much like every other sitcom we have out there. I absolutely love this show, so I'm a little bit biased, but the meta layers that they add to the show, like, it's only going to get better from here. The first episode is, I guess, just setting you up like it should, so that makes sense, even though there's not really like an overlying message or storyline to the show. Like, it's basically show by show, kind of like The Simpsons or something like that, where there's one situation and they solve it in 20 minutes or less.
Except in this episode where there was no solved, like, I guess he got his job back. Did we even mention that?
Oh yeah, I forgot he got his job.
he does go back, and he like, and that his dinner is there, and his dinner is now the secretary, and he's like, what a funny world we live in. Now this guy's my boss, and he gets an imperceptible raise is how he describes it. But he's like, he flaunts it when he gets home, and he's like, everything's good.
And then Fran just immediately puts the check in her like her dress, or not her dress, like her what is that? what does she have on over?
Was it an apron?
Yeah, an apron. She puts the check immediately in her apron.
In her kangaroo pouch.
And yeah, so his food is now his boss. Well, his right below his boss. But so yeah,
I like this. We're really reinventing the form of how we wrap up an episode, though.
Exactly.
It's like it's over, but except for that part we forgot.
And
we'll get better or worse at this. You never know.
And as far as the characters go, I mean, we kind of get a baseline concept of every character so far. Like the baby,
Charlene wants a sweater, so she's probably like, I don't know, like a basic, like the teenage sister on Smart Guy. Like I don't know what else to compare this person to, but that's like an archetype for like the wants daddy to buy her things, and then Robbie fucks. We don't know to what extent. He's a little clever, but he's not doing well in school because he doesn't care about it because he's has impending doom anxiety like we all do.
Yeah, he doesn't understand dates and numbers because we counting backwards. And
he's the only one who's noticed.
Yeah, and Fran is too good for Earl. We know that,
but I can't tell if she has a personality beyond that. So far, like they're like, here's the archetypes, and we're, I guess, hopefully we'll do character development watch. And we'll do age watch as well. We'll pay attention to when things change about these characters.
Yeah, and the baby's annoying. That's what we know so far.
Yeah, you gotta love them. So
Ben, based on that, who so far is your favorite character on the show?
Oh, I guess it would have to be Roy. He just has that kind of a vibe. Like he reminds me of the T-Rex from Toy Story a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit like Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not the guy who used to fuck dude's wife, right? Like,
no.
How many T-Rexes are there in this world?
No, but there is a marriage episode that we won't get into.
Oh, cool.
I think my favorite character is probably going to end up being Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie seems pretty cool so far.
Yeah, like you get he's basically the opposite of his father as his character development goes on.
Mm-hmm. The thing with a dude who wears a Letterman jacket all the time is like every year, if he continues to do that, it gets like less cool. And then there's a year where it immediately becomes not cool, and that's when the year after you graduate high school. I remember there were these kids that like had gone to my high school, and like you'd see them around town years later still wearing Letterman jackets, and most of them they got their Letterman jackets for being like in band or the Flag Squad.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I guess that's still your identity. It's fine. I'm just jealous because I don't fit anything that I wore in high school, I guess.
Yeah, or you could be like me and have your high school diploma buried by action figures, because who cares?
I didn't graduate high school, so mine was buried by action figures in a more metaphorical way. Can't come to school, I'm playing with my G.I. Joes.
And on that note, kids, school is not where you go to ask questions.
It's where you go to get away from me. To get out of this house. It probably is to them.
Yeah, I mean, they used to live in the jungle.
They do want to get away from them.
Now they gotta go to school.
All right, so let's wrap this up. We already plugged Defunct Land.
Yeah,
and Jurassic Park. And the movie Dinosaur.
So go check those out on.
Go watch all those things out.
Yeah, check those things out.
So dude, let's record a commentary of all these different movies.
We'll talk to you later. The next episode. I don't know. Do you know what the next episode is, Ben?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll look it up real quick. Dinosaurs, season 1, episode 2. Just doing some quick Ben fist me up. That's not my name. I think it's called The Mating Dance.
The Mating Dance. So in the next episode, we will see if Earl and Fran indeed fuck.
Because we know Robbie does. All right, I'm Ben. Handupme.
And we're gonna need another Timmy.
Have a great extinction.
Yeah, that's a great catchphrase. Have a great extinction. And we will talk to you soon on the next episode of Sinclairity, a dinosaur tale. Thanks.
Key the theme music.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Sinclairity, a Dinosaur's Tale, was filmed in front of a Dead Inside studio audience. If we in any way violate any copyrights by doing this podcast, we are sorry, we don't know anything. And we don't have money. So, there you go. We're just a couple of fucking rebels. Hey, this is Ben Handupme. I'm back real quick because for the first 5 episodes of our podcast, we were not certain of who was going to be doing our theme song. We hoped that our friend Jeremy Hunter from Scotch Network would do it, but we had to wait to verify that, and now we just got the theme song back from him, so you're going to be hearing it at the beginning of this episode, or you already have heard it at the beginning of this episode. So thank you to Jeremy Hunter for the amazing ska cover of the original Dinosaurs TV theme. And if you want to check out any of their other work, you can go to their YouTube page at Scotch Network, and you can check them out on Spotify. They joined the band We Are the Union not too long ago, which is a band that Timmy and I have been listening to since we were late teenagers. You know, not dead teenagers, not late as in dead. I mean, I felt dead inside. I still do. But yeah, thank you, Scotch Network. It's an amazing theme song. And also thank you to my friend, dear friend, Zach George, for editing the podcast for us, even though he has a newborn baby, and we haven't really found a way to compensate him for it other than with our love, which we give him plenty of. So thank you very much. And if you want to see any more of his work, he is in a band called Waterson, which I believe you can find on like Bandcamp, and you can just hit us up on our Sinclairity podcast at gmail.com if you want to contact him, and I'll relay a message for you, unless it's like super creepy, or I don't know. I'll see what he thinks is creepy and whether or not he'll accept that. He is married. So yeah, thank you.